What is up, everybody? We live. Another day above soil. Once again, we on the road to 100 subscribers. If you want to join me on this fabulous endeavor and become a member of the LDX family, hit that red button. It's right down below. As per usual, I'm also going to include the links to my Etsy and Instagram right within the description. Once again, today I would like to talk about mental health. Your mental health. Last video, we talked about conflict. We spoke about this conflict, and sometimes while we're in conflict, we decide how we use something called free will. Free will has been given to us when we were born. It causes us to decide what we want to do when a decision is relatively easy to make or when something is a really ridiculously hard decision. And when we're in the midst of conflict, our free will is very important. Some people choose to use their free will in a way that benefits our society, and it benefits it in a positive way, or some people may use their free will in a way that doesn't benefit society, or in some cases, they may use their free will to hurt society or hurt our world. In most cases, I've seen people use their free will in a very positive way when their mental health is in check. There's a balance, they feel good, there is not that much going on, they may feel a little bit of stress or tension, but there's not that much going on that is negative with their mental health. Inversely, I have seen people use their free will when they're stressed out, when they're making impulse decisions, when they're really angry at somebody, and then ultimately they do something that is quite regrettable. It is my hope that I today will prevent the latter. I'm going to explain this to y'all in the cleanest way that I can. And just so that y'all know, there may be a topic within this conversation that is sensitive. We may be talking about suicide. So if at all you feel that you're triggered by this, you could go ahead and skip this video. And as a matter of fact, I'm also going to include within the description the National Suicide Prevention Lifelines resources. They have a webpage and they also have a number. If you or anyone else you know is feeling some kind of way or feels like you're about to commit suicide, please use that resource. So, I'm going to explain it in a few ways like I usually do. Newspapers. I still have many different newspapers. More than just this. People could read the newspaper according to their free will. People could throw it in the street, let it blow around like tumbleweed by using their free will. Some people could hold on to stacks of these newspapers and they just sit there and accumulate. Or some people might use it for ways that are beneficial. Free will. Or let's say that you want to plant trees. You notice that there's a tree somewhere in your yard or a neighbor's yard that is starting to rot away. Some people might cut down the tree and use the limbs for wood chips. Some people might see that same rotten tree and they'll just cut it down, not think to plant the same tree. Some people might take seeds that are still good from that rotten tree, plant it in fertile ground, and a new tree is planted. This is where things is gonna get serious, y'all. Suicide. It is rather unfortunate that we're going through this epidemic of the you-know-what nowadays. And even before the you-know-what, there were still people thinking about doing it. So, with your use of free will, you can do a few things. If you see that somebody is feeling some kind of way, you could listen to that person. Listen to the struggle that they are facing. And then it could take 30 minutes, it could take 15 minutes, it could take an hour. Either way, you can listen to them, or you can choose to ignore it. Now, if you choose to ignore it by using your free will and not acting, a person may run the risk of harming themselves or harming somebody else. But if you knew, if you were 110% cognizant that something was not right, and you didn't do anything about it, and you used your free will, but you used it in a way that was not productive, how would you feel about that outcome? I get it. I'm not a counselor. I'm not. There are other people who are counselors out there who can help. I am not asking y'all to be a counselor. I'm just saying that it is most beneficial to use your free will in a way that benefits your mental health and others. If you reach out to somebody who needs help, if you took that extra step and you use your free will that benefit yourself and that person and society to a positive, at least you have tried. You've tried. Now we're going to take a step back and I'm going to talk about my own personal experiences. Okay. So for my personal experience, it feels really good. It feels rewarding, absolutely amazing to use my free will in a way that is positive. It feels great that it's a positive, especially when I know for a fact that the outcome of this action will lead to something very positive and very big, especially if it's something that has great substance. Now, in the midst of conflict, you may feel envious of somebody. You might find that somebody has something that you do not have, and you let that jealousy brew inside of you. And then one day, you feel, you know what? I'm going to take revenge on this person because they have something that I don't have. So when you use your free will in a way that is sadistic or it's a negative, knowing that the outcome is not good, do you ever get that feeling where you're like, oh my God, what the heck have I done? Now, when you get that feeling of regret, does your mental state improve or does it get worse? Just think about it for a minute. If you find yourself in conflict and you are not sure of what to do, there are a few things that you can do. Now, I'm just telling y'all that when you rush a decision, most of the time the outcome is not going to come out good. And I have done this from personal experience. If I'm rushing to make a decision, it's not going to end up well. Sometimes it's the same thing with art. If you rush art, it's going to look a hot mess. And I'm not about to put out a hot mess for people. That's just not how it is. So let's say you're stuck in a rut and you don't know what to do. Take a step back, breathe, reprioritize. Some people may have trust issues with others. And if you're a person who is experiencing those trust issues, write things down. You get a notebook like this, a composition book, or you can get some of the pages of paper that I make for my Etsy shop. Write down your pros and cons. You would write down, okay, so if I do this action, this, and that would happen. What are the benefits and what are the things that are not benefits? Write things down. Works just like a charm. Just write it down. Another thing that you could do is interact with others. Maybe you have a wife, a husband, a significant other. If your parents are still alive, talk to them. If you have brothers, sisters, maybe your auntie, your uncle, your cousins. Maybe you have an old professor. Maybe you have a professor you currently connect with. Talk to them. Explain the situation. They may give you the input that you might need. At least you're asking for help instead of holding it in here. And then lastly, before you make that decision and use your free will, remember that your free will is one of great privilege and great responsibility. Every action, inaction, word, or lack of words will have some sort of impact. They will. They always do. That's all I gotta say about that. There's a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, does not discriminate. I want to once again thank y'all for watching. If this is your first, second, third, or whatever time watching, hit that subscribe button and become a member of the LDX family. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.